Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. I'm here with my one and only Ona. Hello, Ona.
Hello, hello, hello.
We are here for Moon Shadows, new moon in Taurus.
Yeah, I know. I love the whole Taurian
Just
archetype
gonna say, I love Taurus. I love it.
so much. I love like just the earth, the whole idea of it. I'm a Capricorn sun, so I love like the whole like Taurus thing. This one I feel a little anxious.
Well, well, yes, there's a lot between here and there just being like 2 days away. There's some really heavy duty stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
And that is going to include, to a certain extent, the new moon, although not as directly, because we have a grand square in the sky with the sun being in early degrees of Taurus, Black Moon Lilith being in early degrees of Scorpio, and then the Pluto Mars opposition, which is going to be exact the day before.
So Saturday
So
tomorrow.
Saturday, yes, when we're doing Mystic Sisters with Jen.
Yeah, and I think I might be feeling like, because my moon is in Aries and it is an Aries moon, and it might be something I should keep track of, that little bit of anxiety, like a little triggered.
Yeah, well, with an Aries moon, the dispositor of your moon
Is it?
is Mars, which is opposite Pluto right now for
Yeah.
the third time in a period of time, like from November, right? November, January, and now that period of time has been the most intense period in my recollection of my life. When you see what's going on, like not necessarily in my life, because in my life I've had plenty of times when it's been way intense, but it's just my life. But this is we are the world kind of stuff
In the
going on
American
now. And
experience, I've been trying to call it, right? In the American experience. And I think that is very indicative of how I feel just a little bit, with the opposite of Mars and Pluto, and then the sun and moon together. And what's on the other end of that? Black.
Black Moon Lilith at
Okay.
in Scorpio,
Yeah.
right? The scorned goddess who was thrown out of Eden because she refused to lay beneath Adam.
I know.
Talk about power struggles.
Yeah.
And then of course we have all the Pisces energy going on now and all the Aries.
Yeah.
And Chiron is getting closer and closer to Eris. So those are two very wounded energies.
Eris is like the wife or sister partner
She's
to,
the sister of Aries, yes. Yeah. She was considered the goddess of discord. She was a troublemaker.
yeah, I know. I got some work with Eris. Work with
I know
her.
she's square your sun, right? What's your sun at? Your sun's at like,
20?
oh, is it 20? Okay. So natally it's not necessarily, but now it is. Like it's now. And it's, close enough to your moon that because you have that Aries moon. Yeah, I have Eris probably right almost where you have it. I have Eris in my natal chart at about 10 or 11 degrees of Aries, and my sun is at 11 degrees of Cancer. So I have a natural square to Eris, which is what makes me a troublemaker.
Yeah, good.
I was having that conversation with my friends yesterday about being a troublemaker. I said I get into trouble all the time for not seeming like I'm sensitive to
How
people.
about how about just because it's kind of out of the box. How long have you been a chiropractor?
30, I don't know, 36 years now, I
How
think.
many women were in your class?
We had about a quarter of the class was women. Yeah.
So. some groundbreaking there.
Oh yeah. When I went back, so this is an interesting story. I've told this before, so if anybody who maybe heard the story before, in my school that I went to for chiropractic college, we had two bathrooms, a men's bathroom and a women's bathroom, and the women's bathroom had three stalls. And the women would always be late for class because we'd have to wait in line to go to the bathroom, and the men would just go in and out, in and out, in and out of the bathroom. I couldn't understand it. Years later, I went back and they had actually switched the men's room and the women's room. The men's room had like five or six stalls, and they had urinals, and they had like it was just like, and the women had like three stalls. So
Yeah,
they actually ended up giving the men the women's room because half the time they like, if they
right.
have three stalls and three urinals, which is kind of an interesting conversation to be having. That's six people that could go to the bathroom, but with women, it's like, and then it's a whole getting the pantyhose up. It's nothing is
Oh
simple with
God.
women. We have to
Yeah.
take the armor off so we could go to the bathroom.
Not
But when I
anymore.
did go back, I'm sorry, when I did go back to that, about half the students in the classes were women. So there was definitely an increase
Good,
in women representation.
good, good. I'm glad. And how is this new moon in Taurus affecting those other two dates that there was that Pluto Mars? It's exact the day before. I'm thinking,
Yes, it's exactly right now. We're in the dark of the moon as we do this. We're doing this on Friday, the 25th.
yeah.
Tomorrow is the 26th. That's when Pluto and Mars oppose each other. But when you have aspects like this, as it's approaching is always the most intense. Once it's passed, the intensity is there, but it's the tension. There's like I think, well, there's got to be a break in the tension. Something's going to give. It might be like just watching what's going on in the outer world now. It could be Hexeth. Something happens with him. They finally he what is that? What's that expression? Self-immolates. He just bursts into flames, right? Like
I saw a meme at like the Bud
self-immolation. Sorry.
factory. I saw a meme at the Budweiser factory. There was like smoke coming out of the at the factory, and it said, "It seems that we've hired a new Secretary of Defense."
Oh,
You know, the smoke comes out of the thing.
oh yeah.
So the
Like the
Budweiser
conclave.
factory had a smoke stack that was active, and it says it appears that we've assigned we've gotten a new Secretary of Defense at the beer factory.
At the beer factory.
The smoke has come out because we are doing, maybe that's it too. There's like a Pope underlying thing going on. I do want to watch it. I do want to watch it. The Pope's funeral. That's before this new moon.
Yes. Yeah, the new moon Sunday. The
It's
Pope,
gonna,
and of course the Pope died on Easter. I mean, he could rise from the dead. No, wouldn't that be funny?
you know what? I've been trying to like say, okay, now that you're there, okay, you've given JD, a good scare. There's somebody else that needs to be scared right now.
Mm.
Go visit. So we'll see.
I was telling my Kabbalah class last night, my fan fiction is that um, the Pope rises from the dead just like Jesus, and Trump is there and goes. Fan fiction, fan
I
fiction.
hope he makes his presence known, that he in spirit.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, that's the most interesting thing.
those are the things I look for. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Stories.
and it's sort of a weird thing because when Notre Dame when Notre Dame reopened and he was there,
Yeah.
and now this, I mean, there's just there's some symbology maybe that I'm not quite hooked into yet.
I
But
don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I know that all the heads of state have to be there. It's going to be a very kind of interesting funeral.
right, Right, a funeral on the day of the Pluto-Mars opposition.
I'm gonna watch it.
All
I'm gonna watch it.
right, so I'm gonna pull the moon up.
Let's
Hopefully,
look at this
hopefully I
chart.
have it here.
And Taurus awesomeness. That would be another, I might make another Taurus pizza. I do have a class that night on the new moon for the new moon, new you neurographica class.
Oh, cool.
So that'll be interesting, but I I like the idea, the as we can and we appreciate it more than we ever have, to have something that nourishes you, that's healthy for you, that's good for you. I make good pizzas.
Well, and of course, this whole Taurus energy, right, is Taurus is about your desires, your needs. It's your needs. What do you need? We need food, we need water, we need shelter, we need safety, we need companionship, right?
Resources.
Resources and inner resources. This is not just about what we have, but what we have inside of us. And that's, I think, what this is coming to. But let me I can't talk about I can't do two things at once. Hold on a second. Now. Come on.
That's why the pyrite sort of really jumped out at me for this new moon. It's like it's got that whole idea of resource
Yes.
connected to it.
Yes, it is all about resources. And this happens to be the chart for the US. It's Washington, D.C. So specifically, we have the moon in Taurus, the new moon in Taurus. Now, Taurus rules our essential needs, and part of that is our money, right? So it's money, it's love and money, really, is what it is.
Yeah,
Sex, love, money,
yeah.
right? All right. And we have it in the eighth house in the United States chart, which is the house associated with our shared resources. So it's our taxes, it's the social security, it's insurance, we pay into insurance. It's insurance pools and things like that. So we have that energy being planted um for us in this country anyway, in that eighth house.
And the
But
challenge of it in this for this new moon would be Mars Pluto, that big red X in the middle. Can't miss that.
Yep.
You know what? What a great diagram to launch a little art project off of, though.
The thing about this chart is that the things that are happening are intense and they're concentrated. Everything is like concentrated together. And
Yes.
because I mean, look at this. We have the North Node, Saturn, and Venus, and this is a Venus ruled sign, Taurus, right? So you have to look at Venus on the North Node in the seventh house about friends and foes, right? Open enemies and friends. Um, Pluto in the fifth house, Mars in the 11th. The 11th house is Congress in a
Yeah.
mundane chart. Um, and I don't know, maybe Pluto going through the fifth house in this chart is the reality star versus Congress. I don't know. But the Sabian symbol, and this is very interesting. The Sabian symbol for this degree is 8 degrees because it's 746, so it was round up with the Sabian symbols. A sleigh without snow, alignment with the future, the importance and value of anticipating what inevitable changes are coming, making something out of nothing with creative optimism. It says, following a major setback and significant process of letting go, we must look forward to the future with optimism and imagination. What we have managed to learn and earn becomes building blocks and resources of the future yet to be created out of our thoughts. I just love this symbol for this new moon. And it speaks of, creative imagination, and the path of creative imagination on the tree of life. is right here. This is the path of the Empress. And this is a Venus path, and Venus is in Pisces. Venus is in Pisces. And we can see there's a lot of Pisces, there's a lot of Aquarius here. Mars in Leo. This is Leo gets activated by Mars. So we have Mars in Leo activating this, and then we have Mars in Leo activating this. So our solar plexus and our throat chakras activated through this. It's very powerful. And then Venus, as the ruler of Taurus, is at 29 degrees of Pisces. This is one of my favorite symbols of the Sabian symbols. It's a prism. It says the white light is divided into a diversity of rainbow colors by a raindrop or a prism and shows clearly the allegory of the relationship between the one and the many. So white light is made up of a spectrum of all
Mhm.
different vibrations. It's only when it comes together that we have the white light, right? So it takes all of us. We're all in this together. This is a reminder of that. It's
No, the person that who did the Sabian symbols, or the people that came up with these Sabian symbols, basically in meditation, came up with these symbols, these metaphors
yeah,
for that sign, right?
yeah. It's like a vision. There was a vision.
For vision. Now, this new moon in Taurus, I bet you they were sitting under a viburnum bush, because that is exactly what it says about the viburnum, about aligning with the futures, making guiding you straight to the heart of the matter, which is in bloom right now and all over.
Yeah.
And I've been picking it.
Ours is not quite open yet. We're still a little too cold here on the coast.
Pooh,
But it is starting to open now. Our May bush is a viburnum. Yeah.
it's really fast. It'll bloom quick, and this is when they're in bloom. And that's the Sabian symbol, and that is what the arrowwood um meaning is, spiritual meaning.
Yes. Yeah. And you can see that this new moon is in a T square with this energy here. And this is actually very close to the United States. If we looked at the United States chart, Mars, the United States chart has the North Node, I think it's 7 degrees of Leo, and the South Node, of course, at 7 degrees of Aquarius. So this is hitting the United States nodes. So it is a fated time, certainly for us. Um,
Yeah.
and then that also means that this new moon is square the nodes, like actually really square, because I think it's real close to exact the nodes of the United States,
Oh, yeah.
right? So that's interesting. So we're at a crossroads. Usually when things are square the nodes, it means that you're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
And we have a choice to make. And I feel like people are making the choice. I feel people are doing what they need to do. I think
Yeah.
that judging judging what's possible by what has come before is a mistake. I think we have to have optimism as we do what we do with a vision for the future. This is all about a vision for the future. Everything that we're in fact, this whole year is about that. It's a 9 year. What do we want to keep? What do we want to let go? What seed of wisdom, what pearl of wisdom can we bring into the next cycle?
Yeah.
It's about letting go of the past and dreaming about the future right now. And that's made even more so by the fact that Saturn and Neptune are as balsamic as they can be without actually coming together. And then at the end of this, no, in next month we have Saturn move into Aries, so they're going to be even closer, dancing around. So it's an interesting, and the the Page of Cups is the vibration 40/4. The
Yes.
interesting thing about that vibration is that it is Trump's path of life.
Okay. And he's flying to Italy to go to the Pope's funeral. He would be the one person that would overshadow the Pope's funeral.
Or at least he think he could.
unless, he really overshadows the Pope's funeral for some reason. Yeah, it's a Page of Cups, so it's a surprise kind of day, huh?
Yeah, it could be good news. Could be good news, right?
You know what I just noticed too? The moon enters Taurus at 3:17 Eastern, and the new moon is at 3:31. So there's time in this moon in Taurus to get your shit together if you have to, or tap into resources.
Or your resourcefulness. It's what
Resource.
it's making something out of nothing,
Yeah, yeah,
which is actually how we do it. Like that's how we make everything. We make something out of nothing. You have to imagine it first,
yeah,
and then you have to figure out with your mind how you're going to go from your imagination to actually manifesting it. You need more like of a logical measuring, whatever it is you're going to do. What are the
yeah,
parameters? What can I do? What can't I do? What are the laws associated with this situation? And you apply that, then you figure out a way to, and then it becomes something. Then it becomes something. So we're at a miraculous time when we can truly create our own reality. We really can do it, but we have to put the energy there. It hasn't always been possible, I don't think, but now that they've decided that the internet is 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 money, really,
yeah,
then you have, with your attention, you have the power of your attention and intention into the matrix in a way, and
yeah,
hopefully, create something good.
yeah. I guess, with everything in the media, you have to ask yourself, how is this validating me as a person? Because that is so true about your what you're thinking is what you're creating. If you're constantly in a space of consuming all this stuff, all this news, then you're searching for it. And then you're searching for it to validate your anger,
Well, some people, yeah, some people. Like
right?
I pay attention because I like to see how it's reflected in the astrology, or how it's
Yeah.
reflected in the Kabbalah. It's an observation, it's from an
Yeah.
observational place. I try not to take it in, but sometimes it's hard because
Oh,
you can't watch it without really being affected by it.
yeah. You
And
gotta, you can turn it off,
and
can.
then you have to know who you are. Like some people cannot tolerate it at all,
Yeah.
and either better not watching it at all. If you can't watch it, then don't watch it, and do what
Yeah.
you do and do it as the best. And then if you have some energy that you can spare to put it in a direction that you want to see the world go. If you want to see the world more of a peaceful place, then give an hour, donate time or money to something that's going to foster that, and then leave it. You've done your part.
And
There's
remember,
so many of us. We
hmm,
don't all have to do it, all of it, all at once.
yeah. And it's a Taurus moon. So like as much consume
Yeah.
the earth energies, what's happening there, because that's what I have to do. Even in some of the art, it starts to dance and I have to get up and walk away.
Yeah.
Get up and get some air.
Well, I've had the benefit of having a big yard with a lot of work to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So like I was out there for like 2 days, like pretty much a couple of hours a day. I'm not a young woman anymore, so it takes its toll, but it
You
feels
gotta
good. It's
you
it's
gotta get the time in when the weather's nice.
it's a nice. Now we have these little black biting flies that we get. It usually lasts for a
Mm.
couple of days.
Yes.
And when they bite, they give me welts. So I didn't. I was out there for a little while, and then I was like, maybe I'll go in and
Are people doing like spring cleanup stuff?
yeah, yeah.
And
It's all this. So they're all in the leafleter, really.
yes.
And we don't move that stuff until it gets warm enough, because a lot of bugs do,
Yeah.
a lot of bees and stuff. They will tend to be and we don't want to take that away,
Yeah.
take the shelter away.
But even in the neighborhood, like if your neighbor, even somebody two doors down, those little biting flies, they come find you.
Oh
They
yeah, yeah, yeah. They love me. Yeah, they love me. The
Mhm.
other day, one went in my nose. That was fun,
Yeah,
and I almost inhaled one. I
yeah.
made the mistake of inhaling with my mouth open when I was bent over doing something, and the little bug went.
They will. You'll pull them out of your eyes. Yeah, it's been like that. There has been a few, not everybody's building is like doing a spring thing, but the few that have, and I had this whole like manure thing. So you could smell
Right.
that sweet sort of manure. If the air is right and people are doing landscaping, you're going to smell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but not everyone has it. But those little things, and they come up to the screen and they're on the screen.
Yeah, they're almost like little gnats, but
Mhm.
they're actually flies, and there's one species that just eats me up, like, and you'll see I'll have my lymph nodes swell up. It's crazy. I look like a gopher for a little while, like a, and then with all the bites and the welts.
And with all this, all these energies that are going on with the new moon and how if it has been affecting weather and stuff, I think that also affects our physical body,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So definitely a time to enjoy the Taurus moment and take care of the physical body.
So how about something for the let's just talk a little dirt, so to speak. About the altar, what
Yeah,
you said
pyrite,
pyrite came up for you?
pyrite.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of pieces. I already put some up on the altar. I have a big piece. I have some I have cubes. I have I have an angel like carved. I'm wearing it.
I have my this is moss agate, my moss agate heart.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
I love
that's
moss
very
agate.
Taurian. Yeah.
I have my little cup up there that my friend Ona got me.
Yeah. That's
And of course this is good one too. Um
oh yeah.
Rose quartz is good, Venus,
It's
right?
a Venus thing.
The Venus energy.
Yeah. I got well, it's Friday.
And yes,
So I have a cinnamon stick in my pockets and a piece of pyrite.
there you go.
Friday.
Well,
Cinnamon.
you're all ready already. Thank God it's
Yes.
Friday. I got my
I have
cinnamon
to
stick.
in the middle of I was just thinking today, I learned that the name Chicago does come from rotting onion or stinking onion.
I
And
was
that
thinking about where the it came from, Chicago. But anyway, God,
because I've always said with my response to it is onions. It smells like onions, everything does. And I know that there were wild onions. Apparently, this is like the land of wild leeks.
oh, okay.
Okay. I could tell if it's a leek, an onion, grilled, fried, sauteed. Everything smells. It's not just that. Like everything smells like onions. If a good like northeast wind off of Wrigley, those onions are raw,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
The place, they're grilled.
Mm,
Okay. And there's another place that has onion rings. That's a whole different
that's a
profile.
whole different. And then there's the wild ones that grow in Chicago.
I think the point is now that it's coming up a lot is that taking care of yourself, of making sure you have enough uh inflammatory anti-inflammatory to
Well,
take on some of the
aren't
challenges of spring
onions?
allergies.
They draw out toxins. I think one of the things onions people put onions on the bottom of their feet. They
Yes.
wrap them and it draws out the toxins.
I dated somebody who was Persian, and he said his mother used to make him like bite into like an apple. I'm like, sick mom. He's like, no, that is how they cured a cold.
Yeah.
I said,
That and
okay,
probably tooth decay and all kinds of stuff because it's antibacterial as far as I.
it is. It really is, but it's hard on my stomach. I try and stay away from it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I used to say I looked at an onion and I'd fart. I didn't even have to eat it. I just have to look at it. But
They're very
I do
aggressive.
I've gotten actually, usually when you get older, you get less, like things are harder to eat. But for
Yeah.
some reason, onions don't bother me the way they did when I was younger. I don't know.
I used to be able to eat them. Now, they're very aggressive on me. I can't do that. And garlic too.
I had a cousin, poor
Much.
thing. She's born into an Italian Sicilian family, and she was allergic to garlic.
Yeah.
It would make her, she would get all red here. She'd have like an allergic reaction. And of course, everything we ate was garlic in it. So she's always in some sort of allergic reaction.
Mhm.
She was misunderstood. She probably should have been born into an Irish family where garlic isn't much of an issue.
It would be really hard. Let me grab the dog because he's going to
Okay.
give himself again.
Oh, well, that's okay. Nobody's seen him yet. You know, everybody likes to see
Oh,
Jibs.
it is closer to dinner time, I guess, but he did have extra snacks. And
Speaking of snacks, I'm a little hungry.
yeah.
That's one way you could celebrate the
Well, I
Taurus.
didn't want to give him his whole dinner thing early.
A nice charcuterie board. I think, how about a charcuterie board on
He has
the,
a snacking tray,
yeah, I
like
like that.
yucky blueberries and carrots and stuff like that. I was going to say onions, but he ate an onion once out
He survived, right?
of the thing. Yeah, I had to make him throw up.
Oh, jeez.
Gave him like a teaspoon of peroxide and put him in the bathroom in the shower, and I closed the door. He threw all of it up.
Good. You're a good
Yeah,
one.
he was fine. He had some paint chips in his poop today because it's been peeling off my bathroom wall. So he got into that. Yeah. He's
It's okay.
almost 11 and he still does puppy stuff that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you're talking about, Mom.
Candles. He loves them.
You're telling tales.
He's deaf. He can't hear me.
Well, I think we
Right.
covered everything we wanted to cover. Is there anything else we talked about that?
The viburnum, the pyrites. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more
Well, we'll be together tomorrow night on Mystic Sisters. I'm
pages.
sure we'll have a
Yeah.
lot to say. We'll probably continue to talk about this new moon and the opposition that's happening. And we'll have some fun with Jen Lynn. It'll be fun to have her. She's
Yeah.
so tapped into like what's going on politically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that'll be helpful. That'll be helpful to me. I'll get a whole bunch of
Me too.
information.
I know there was just stories I picked that I will, sort of pique my interest. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like grab
Well,
20.
I usually like listen to a couple of sources and then
Yeah,
I don't like say, oh, what is this one saying about that? What is this one saying about this? As long as I hear one, even if they may not necessarily have the same point of view, if I can just get the information, then I can have my own point of view about stuff.
yeah.
You know?
That's, it's nice to be able to do that with like YouTube. You can go to that channel and you could see what videos you might want to watch for the subject you're interested in instead of it having been fed to you in the news. And what is on is what you have to watch, right?
Well,
So,
I mean, but that's a problem. But that might be for another conversation for another day. It's
yeah,
easy to get in your silos that way. You
yeah.
really have to you have to work at having a rounded perspective.
For people that can discern the difference between fantasy and reality. Yes. When you have your own original thoughts, you can go in and cherry pick. I'm going to attend to this dog.
All right. Well, we're gonna go then. So
Three.
you can do your motherly duties. He does have his Venus in Taurus, and as do I. And
So
when there is a snack to be had, that we can
it's
think of
dinner
what's
time.
next. All right, guys, have a great new moon. We'll see you tomorrow night on Mystic Sisters. And we're always on, we're always around. Take care, everyone. Namaste.
You hear the wind?